Welcome to the realm of intoxicating flavors and head-banging beer reviews.
What's up, everybody? It's Ginger Yeti, and I have another macro beer for you. Some people might call this a trash beer, but it's just a macro, old school macro beer. So the beer I have today on offer is Miller High Life. It's from the Miller Brewing Company, which is a subsidiary of Molson Coors. Now, Miller was founded in 1855. I had a good long run, but then it was sold to W.R. Grace Company in 1966, and Miller's changed hands quite a few times. It was then sold to Philip Morris in 1969. I do remember it kind of being part of Philip Morris at one time, the cigarette brand like Marlboro, but I didn't realize it was sold to them all the way back in 1969, and apparently they outbid PepsiCo. So this could have been a Pepsi product if Philip Morris hadn't stepped in. Then South African breweries bought it in 2002, and they had it for a little while. And then in 2008, they founded Miller Coors, or conglomerated Miller Coors. And that ran for a couple of years. And in 2015, AB InBev, Anheuser-Busch InBev, bought South African brewery Miller, SAB Miller. But as part of that deal, SAB Miller divested itself from all of its Miller products, or from all the Miller Coors products. And then that few months later, beginning of 2016, they sold the Miller Coors to Molson, which is now Molson Coors. So it's been through a lot of different owners over the years. And this beer right here has made it through all those owners. This beer was first introduced in 1903. It's a golden pilsner. I mean, it's probably just your average beer. Their slogan is the champagne of beers. I don't know about all that. It's 4.6% alcohol, allegedly 7 IBUs according to Untapped. On the can here, just a bunch of government warnings. I don't even think the can lists the alcohol, which is kind of dumb. I wish cans would list the alcohol. Ingredients: water, barley, malt, corn, syrup, yeast, and hop extract. The corn syrup is used as part of the brewing process only. Miller High Life never uses high fructose corn syrup. Okay. I don't know how much people care about that anymore. I know that was a thing at one time. There is what appears to be a canned owner Best By date on the bottom, but it's all on the edge like a lot of these are, so you can't read it. There might just be a date code or a lot number, but it's all blurry and I can't read the bottom of it. I'm sure most of you out there had this beer. I don't expect it to be great. Can't remember the last time I had one of these. So I'm going to go ahead and get on into it. On Untapped, it gets a 2.74 with 211,000 check-ins. On Beer Advocate, it gets a 64 pour with 4,395 check-ins as of the recording of this video. And what's interesting is the aggregate score is also a 2.74. So between Beer Advocate and Untapped, everybody gives it a 2.74. It's very rare that both of those systems have the exact same rating. Of course, I knobheaded this like I always do. You do get that kind of like light beer, generic beer, almost a little corny bit adjunct kind of smell. I mean, it doesn't smell bad. It doesn't smell terrible. It just smells like a beer you'd see your dad drinking in some old dingy dive bar back in the 70s or 80s. Or the kind of beer you see the old guys drinking at the VFW. That's what it kind of smells like to me. I mean, that's what those scents make me think of. As far as color, that is crystal clear. See my face right through that. A little bit of bubbles there. I mean, that's super light yellow. I mean, you're probably about a 2 on the SRM. Super clear. It is kind of a golden color, golden yellow. Big bear paw's worth of frothy white, bright white head that's not going anywhere at all. So I'm going to chew through this beer and see if I remember like it or not. Cheers, everybody. light bodied. It's got some sweetness to it, like that corn sweetness, but it's not bad sweetness. Because sometimes you get those corn sweetnesses in there, and it's just not even cloying, almost like acidic, just not good. This does have that, like, right off the bat, this is made with some corn. It's got that sweetness to it, but it's not terrible. And then you get a little bit of bitterness, just generic hop bitterness. It's beer. It's beer flavored beer. And surprisingly, that little bit of sweetness, that generic malt bitterness on the very back end, kind of work well together. And I don't remember what I paid for this. Picked it up at the gas station, I think. I don't know a price on it. I'm sure it's $1 or $2. Big 24-ounce can. If you're looking for a beer-flavored beer, you could pick much worse than this. This is surprisingly not bad. I begrudgingly give this a horns up. If you just want some trash beer to chug, lawnmower beer, tailgating beer, whatever, you just little low on funds and just want a cheap beer to drink, there's a lot worse out there than this. Surprisingly, this isn't bad. With all the craft beers I drink and all the crazy beer, sometimes it's nice to just have a regular old beer-flavored beer. It's kind of fun trying some of these big old macro beers that have been around forever that are just kind of beer. And this, like I said, this one's not bad. I would drink it again. When's the last time you had a Miller High Life, the champagne of beers? I don't know if I'd call this the champagne of beers, but it's not bad. When's the last time you had one of these? Have you ever had one of these? If you haven't, I suggest picking it up. Like I said, it's fun to try some of these just regular old, your dad's beer kind of beer, especially if you've never tried them before. It's an adventure, and as always, embrace the adventure.